What's going on YouTube? I'm E and this is Simply Put Scents. And I wanted to share with you guys my top 10 favorite fragrances for Valentine's Day. Now all of these are going to be designer fragrances, guys, and their main focus will be helping to add to that sexy time mood. You know what I mean? Let's just get to it. I gotta be honest with you guys, this was a really difficult list to kind of rank. So while these fragrances will definitely work for Valentine's Day, keep these fragrances in mind for, you know, those extracurricular activities with that special someone, because these fragrances, they do a good job. From the house of Rast, the fragrance is Intiba. The three words that I would use to describe Intiba: syrupy, boozy, sangria. Now I would say wine, but this fragrance has like a fruity accord with that wine. So it kind of reminds me of sangria. I would have put this fragrance even higher up on the list too. I mean, it's just a really, really great option for close encounter situations. But there were just so many other fragrances that were so good, so I had to like push it down to number 10. And from the house of Zara, the fragrance is Tobacco Collections Rich, Warm, and Addictive. Zara is absolutely knocking me out. I've smelled a couple of fragrances so far from the haul that I've done, and I'm very much so impressed. Yeah, Zara is doing really interesting scents, and this for sure is probably one of their best ever. It's just that inviting and alluring. Awesome smell, awesome price. You just can't beat it. And from the house of Rast again, the fragrance is Darrow. Now, three words that I would use to describe Darrow: sweet, spicy, V, as in Valentino V. You've heard me mention this fragrance a couple of times on my channel. I will keep mentioning this fragrance, and it smells a lot more expensive than the price suggests, which you can get this fragrance under $20, which I think is insane. Especially when you consider that it mimics a fragrance that's discontinued and selling for $300 a bottle on eBay right now. So yeah, this is another fragrance that some people could come across a little bit overbearing, but my suggestion to you guys is this: spray this fragrance once or twice on your skin, go to dinner, by bedtime, if you know what I mean, it'll be working perfectly. Darrow by Rast, doing its thing, and it will be having you doing yours. From the house of Carolina Herrera, the fragrance is CH Men Privé. I probably wouldn't wear it for any other situation but a close encounter one, to be honest. I think this was perfectly made for situations with their significant other. That's just my opinion. I don't really find too many other uses for it. The three words that I would use to describe this fragrance is mellow, boozy, grown up. Okay, that's 4 words, but put a hyphen in it. Thank you. Yeah guys, grown up for sure. This fragrance is a more grown up version to the original CH Men. A lot more sophisticated, a lot more mature. If you're a guy who's a fun guy, you want your fragrance to come across playful, so maybe CH Men might be a good option for you at this spot. But if you're a guy who's a little bit more on the serious side, let's say you're a little bit more alpha, you might want to go with CH Men Privé, because Privé comes across just a lot more assertive, but in a mellow, comfortable, calm way. You know, it's definitely not a beast, so yeah, works beautifully for those close encounter situations. From the house of Tom Ford, guys, the fragrance is Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. The three words that I would use to describe Tom Ford's Noir Extreme: spicy ice cream. Noir Extreme, I think, is a fragrance that is definitely underappreciated for a lot of reasons. I think one of the main reasons is that it doesn't have the reputation as being a strong scent. It has such a dark nature to it, a lot of people would prefer it to last a little longer. But to be honest with you, I gotta admit, it's definitely adequate as far as performance goes. Yeah, it might not be a beast and you might wish it were because it smells so great. Guys, this fragrance is a great night fragrance for those close encounter moments. It just, to me, I think a lot of women, when they smell this fragrance, they'll feel comfortable, okay? They will feel much more relaxed. So if you're a guy out there where this fragrance doesn't really work on your skin too well, consider this the perfect situational scent, the perfect moment scent, and the moments are bedroom. The next fragrance, guys, from the house of Liz Claiborne. Yep, I'm not joking. Liz Claiborne, guys. And the fragrance is Curve Crush. Okay, yeah. This is a weird fragrance to put on this list to a lot of you. But if any of you have smelled Curve Crush and have worn it around any women, you know Curve Crush crushes. The three words that I would use to describe Curve Crush: fun, lovable, and fruity. This fragrance is nowhere near a quality scent. This fragrance is not the most perfectly blended with the best notes. None of that. But you know what this fragrance has? It has that it factor. What is that it factor, guys? It's called likability. If you have a playful personality, this fragrance will do wonders for you in those close encounter situations. It's fun, but it's also very attractive to the opposite sex. A lot of women just really love Curve Crush. Yes, the beautiful black pineapple bottle. Love that bottle. Guys, Uomo Intense is a little intense, and I will admit, it can be a little strong for those close encounter scenarios, but not really. I don't think so. I think this fragrance will perfectly blend to that situation. Why? Even though it's a strong fragrance and it lasts, it's not a fragrance that just blows people away. It's extremely smooth. I have not come across a woman who's disliked this scent yet. Just, you know, go easy with the sprays, allow it time to breathe, and I think it will definitely work for you in your favor for sure. The three words that I would use to describe Valentino's Uomo Intense: smooth, derivative, improvement. Yes, guys, I gotta admit, Valentino Uomo Intense is definitely an improvement, in my opinion, on current formulations of DHI, Dior Homme Intense, without question. When you smell them back to back, it's hard to argue that DHI is a superior fragrance as it stands today. It just cannot compete with this fragrance, in my opinion. I think Valentino picked up the pieces of DHI and put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And from the house of Chilli Nubia, we have, guys, Pure Malt. Guys, Pure Malt is one of my favorite nighttime seductive scents of all time. It's the perfect balance between playful and assertive. The three words that I would use to describe Pure Malt: boozy, patchouli, fruit. Yeah, that's what I smell when I smell this scent. One of the best flankers ever made by anyone. Period. Definitely can make that argument without question. Trust me when I tell you, you knew this fragrance was coming. Yeah, you knew it. From the house of Yves Saint Laurent, La Nuit de l'Homme. So some of you have probably seen my review of La Nuit de l'Homme, and you're probably saying to yourself,
well, why do you have this fragrance so high on your list if you gave it such a womp womp as a rating?
La Nuit de l'Homme is now a moment fragrance. I call moment fragrances that don't last forever, but work perfectly for the moments you need it for. This fragrance is nowhere near as versatile as it used to be, but this fragrance is for sure and still remains a great moment fragrance for close encounter scenarios. For sure. Regardless of the strength of this scent, regardless if you have a vintage version or a new batch, this fragrance still does an awesome job for close encounter scenarios. Yes, it won't last 4 or 5 hours, but you spray this right before you do what you're about to do, and it will do what it's supposed to do. The 3 words that I would use to describe La Nuit de l'Homme: powdery, spicy, sexy. You know, La Nuit de l'Homme, it's a legend for a reason. So, yeah, number 2. And guys, finally, last but not least, number 1 on this list, my favorite seductive fragrance. I think the sexiest fragrance that you could wear for Valentine's Day in a designer presentation, from the house of Dolce & Gabbana, the one, EDP. Bam. So this is the first time I've mentioned this fragrance, I think, on my channel. I've owned this bottle for about a year now, and I absolutely love this scent. Absolutely love this scent. It's another fragrance that is more of a situational type of scent, more of a moment type of fragrance, and it works perfectly for the moments you need it for, close encounter cases included. So the 3 words that I would use to describe this fragrance, guys: the sexy time fragrance. Very few fragrances in a designer presentation come close to matching this fragrance's alluring, warm, cozy, sexy nature. Very few. It's one of the most likable fragrances made in a long time. Man, guys, this is just beautifully done. Very few women dislike this fragrance. Very few men dislike this fragrance. It's one of the most likable fragrances I've ever smelled, and that I pretty much know of. It's one of the most likable designer fragrances on the market today. It'll make your partner want to cuddle up on you, smell you a little bit more, and that of course always leads to you know what. It's a Goldilocks zone fragrance, and yeah, it's awesome. Very, very versatile too, so it works throughout the year for those scenarios, not just for Valentine's Day nights. So yeah. So those, guys, are my top 10 seductive fragrances for Valentine's Day nights. And yeah, I really, really do think that they will do an awesome job for you and will definitely help add to those moments you're trying to create with that beautiful and that special someone in your life. So guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I'm curious though what your favorite seductive fragrances are and what you'll be wearing for Valentine's Day. And of course, please like this video if you appreciated it. And finally, if you're not subscribed to SimplyPut Scents, why aren't you? Why not? You know, like, I work hard. I do really hard work. Not really though. No, but I do work hard, you know, to bring this channel forward, and I would definitely appreciate your support. So please, please hit up that subscribe button and that bell next to it so you'll know when my videos are popping. So with that, guys, I'm B, and this is Simply Put Scents. And I'm Simply OUT. Peace. And good luck, guys. I'm excited to open this. Extremely excited to open this. It was $125, which for a 5-ounce, which is not too bad. It's actually very inexpensive compared to competitor brands, I would say. You know who you are, Chanel. Yeah, let's open this box.